What's up? Welcome everybody back to another edition of Chairgatin. It's Rattlesnake.
Oh, Dakota and Rattlesnake. We're coming live from Darlington. If you just saw it, you know, the man Denny Hamlin, the Playboy, got it done.
New winner.
New winner of the year. It was a great race. A lot of people banging. Oh, that's a wrap. I can't wait to do this episode.
Let's get it. Let's take a look at how the... What's up? It's Chairgatin coming at you live.
Hello, come right in.
Rock flag and eagle. What's up? What's up?
Boy.
Hope y'all liked that new intro. Got a little new special edition intro. We're rocking the matching hats, rocking matching shades.
For the boy.
Looking real good tonight.
Like
Happy to be home.
Yeah, I mean, it came and went, man. We're sitting here looking forward, talking about it, and then back home we're doing an episode. And I'm like, what just happened? Holy crap! Like,
yeah, I was going through the photos and I was like, damn, that was a good time. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I definitely loved it.
So this was your first experience with the Hot Pass. What did you think? Dude,
all right. I'd like to shout out to your dad, his buddies. I mean, that was great meeting your folks and great hospitality inside the garage, man. That was my first time being down there. We amped it up, and you did not disappoint. I'm very grateful. And dude, I literally was like, when we first got down in there, I was trying not to get like choked up a little bit. I was like, I've been waiting for this my whole fandom career. Like, one day this is gonna happen for me. And dude, it was awesome. Like, we were in the garage 5 seconds. Corey LaJoy walks past us, and I'm like, "Yeah, hey, Corey!" And then it was on from there, just spotting crew chiefs, crews, drivers, industry, people like us, and it was just like, dude, like, you see all this crap on social media and on everything, and it was like, man, like, we're in it, we're living it. Then, we stopped by some haulers, get some tours, see some drivers, and it was just freaking wild, man. I mean,
we saw so many guys.
Dude,
so many drivers.
We looked like $1 million down there anyway.
Got a lot of compliments on how we were looking. Swan, specifically.
Hey, it was fun, man. It was more than anything I thought it'd ever be. But now I'm like, where do I go from here? I mean, Bristol coming up is like, I mean, it's going to be Bristol, but damn, I want to get back down there in the garage.
I want to get back down there. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. We saw so many drivers. We got to talk to a lot of guys. We definitely looked badass. Got a lot of compliments. Got a lot of compliments on these shades.
Boy, I bust these things out. I'm ready to wear them on the show.
Yeah, you got the new pair. Brought to you by Yeats. 10% off discount code Chairgatin at yeatsofficial.com.
If you want drivers and crew members to tell you how freaking cool you look, just use Chairgatin code, 10% off. You'll be looking slick at the races coming up.
I'd say like half of the drivers and crew guys that we're talking to. I mean, we're getting a lot of compliments on the shades.
I mean, even a guy that was sponsored by Costa Del Mar said we looked freaking sick.
That's true. And he was coasted out, and he even said, like, damn, those look badass. Yeah. Swan, he gave us a big shout out for how cool our shades were. Definitely a dude that should be rocking Yeats, to be fair. Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, we talked to you got to talk to Kevin Harvick for like a second. He kind of big dicked you.
Yeah, so I ain't even gonna be mad. I wasn't even
gonna big leagued you. Yeah,
bro, I wasn't even gonna bring it up. That I said, if I'm getting this access, I don't care what has to happen.
You did say that. You said I don't care how he reacts or responds to me. Yeah, I'm just happy I get to see him. You said that even before we went in there.
So, I got to slip down pit road and just go. You see all the pre-race with this, national anthem, and everybody's putting their gear on and getting their helmets and earpieces in, and I see all the people walking around, and that was me. I was the guy walking around. And I'm just walking by, and like, there Camarola, there's Kyle Busch, cool, like, hey, what's up? And then I'm beelining straight to the 4-car. I mean, we'd been out earlier, but now all the crews are out there. It was awesome.
I mean, we kept wondering if we were in a place we should be. but
I didn't come this far to turn back, man.
It said VIP on our passes, and no one stopped us. So I think
VIP
we were good.
stands for wherever the fuck I want to go.
Exactly.
Is all I heard. And I get down there, and Kevin's not down there yet. He's walking from driver intros, and Rodney's just kind of sitting on the wall, just like looking at the car.
And you were fangirling.
Dude, I was like,
you fangirled a little bit.
Oh my God, there's Rodney. So I walked down there, and I'm like, hey, Rodney. I was like, hey, man, just want to say, big fan. Dabbed him up. He was like, oh, hey, man, thanks for coming. And I was like, hey, kick ass tonight. And then as soon as I do that, here comes Kevin. So, like, some of the drivers walked on the other side of the cars, which to me was kind of like, hey, don't talk to me, leave me alone to anybody. Yeah. So, but then some guys came walking right down pit road, and they didn't give a shit, which was cool. But I didn't care. Kevin came around the car, and I was like, hey, Kevin. And so I was like, what's up, man? He was like, hey. And I was like, can I get a picture? And he was kind of like, yeah.
He could just give you kind of one of those, like,
yeah. Oh, okay. I was just like, can I just take it from here then? And he was like, yeah, man. And so I just took the long distance. Still cool. Third time I've gotten to interact with Kevin. It was cool. Then I go walking back, dude, and drivers are just like walking right by me to their cars from driver intros. And I was like, hey, Joey. He was like, what's up, man? I was like, picture. And he was like, what's up?
Who?
And then Truex walking by, he smiled, and Georgia boy crybaby Chase Elliott. I was like, hey, Chase. I was like, hey, Chase, get a picture. And he was totally like, dude, fuck off.
He definitely big dicked you. But to be fair, he had that like cancer kid next to him. And
I get it.
And the crews were like following him. I'm pretty sure he was like, dude, I'm talking to this cancer
kid. I was
kid.
Probably the 111th person who did that.
I think you caught him at a bad time. So that one's not quite fair. But are there any drivers that you had an interaction with that you're like, that wasn't that good, that didn't go over smoothly? Other than Harvick and Chase Elliott.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess there was one I told you about when I was waiting. I was waiting to meet you at the credential hauler, and I'm sitting there like chilling. People are coming up and getting their stuff and going, and I'm just kind of chilling, waiting because you said you were about to be there. Yep. And nobody's around. Like, there's no line. I'm just kind of chilling.
There's nobody at the credential hauler. That was.
And all of a sudden, I look up, and Ross Chastain just comes walking up around the corner, and he's like, hey, yeah, talking to him. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I'm like 10 feet from Ross Chastain. Like, oh, my God. And, I mean, I wasn't starstruck, but I was like, dude, like, he's just a normal-ass dude standing there. And I was like, he looked at me and kind of threw deuces, and I was like, hey. And then I was like, well, shit.
To be fair, you sound like the weird guy here.
So I wanted to, I was at least like, I was trying not to like freak out, but I was like, I wanted to like say hey and like good luck. You know, I like Ross. And so he was like done like getting his stuff. And I was like, hey, man, I was going to tell you like good luck. I was shake your hand or something. And he was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't, man. You know, protocols. And I was like, yeah, whatever, man. Go kick ass tonight. And he was like, yeah, thanks, man. And he walked off. And I was kind of like, you know, I liked you. I was like, but I get it, you know, teach their own preferences, whatever they have you. I don't know. I was kind of down on that, but it is what it is. Some other drivers definitely made up for it. Shout out Kurt Busch, dude. The hospitality over at the Monster.
Yeah, first of all, Kurt Busch.
I mean, we're lucky there weren't any Monster girls around. It was insane.
He went out of his way.
Dude, Kurt hung out with us, dabbed us up. We sat there and told top strategy, gave him the recipe for a win he almost got.
He did call you his lucky charm.
Yes, and he did give us some.
You were at the race when he won with your wife, who's a big fan, and he said, "Okay, well, I guess you're the lucky charm for today." Apparently, you're not a very good lucky charm because he didn't win, but
he survived. He came back. He made a comeback, but he did give us some free beezies. I know, and those were the best tasting ones I think I've ever had. Some free monsters on deck. That was cool. Well, we walked around, talked to some other drivers, seen some other, fellow members of the sport. And, dude, we're standing there, and Tyler Reddick just, like, goes walking by. And I'm like, dude, there's Tyler Reddick. Like, we got to say something. And we're like, hey, Tyler. And he's like, took his mask off. Was like, what's up, dudes? And he was, like, the most nonchalant dude. Just, hey,
he was the biggest surprise to me of, like, how cool he was. I didn't know how he would act or anything. You know, I just don't know. And he took his mask off, his shades off, everything, so we could like see his face. And he stopped and just talked to us for like a good while, like kind of away from his hauler where he probably didn't have to.
He was a gentleman about
it. The shit about. Yeah, exactly. He was super nice about it. Obviously, have to give another shout out to Austin Dillon once again. Got to go hang out at his hauler and talk with him. He's really, really nice. That whole family's super nice.
Yeah.
And
It was super cool, dude.
Obviously, another big shout out, which something you haven't even mentioned yet, is you got to tour a hauler for the first time, I believe.
That was the first time I've been in a race hauler. I mean, we've all seen videos and stuff, but shout out to Ryan Priest and his whole team and crew chief. They welcomed us in with open arms, shook Ryan Priest's hand as soon as I walked in. I was blown away. AC's bumping in that thing. JTG was rocking. It's a pretty cool damn hauler. Go up there, see their work tables, where all their stuff is, their computers and everything. And I mean, it was like, dude, these are headquarters. Like, these are rolling headquarters. I mean, I don't even remember the crew chief's name, but he was freaking awesome.
Trent Owens, yeah. He was the one that gave us the tour, and super nice guy. Just, it felt like he wasn't trying to rush us in and out.
Yeah, like he didn't even have to do that. He was like, come on in.
Yeah, I've done hauler tours before, and they're usually like this for obvious reasons. Yeah, he seemed like he wasn't rushing us in and out. I mean, he took all of our questions, answered them as best he could. Like, he was super casual, super, super nice dude. So really nice guy, Trent Owens, crew chief for Ryan Priest. And when we walk in the hauler, Ryan Priest is just like standing in the corner eating a sandwich or something in just a t-shirt and jeans. And I stop into a double take. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Thanks. And he
we got to take
has his mouth full, and he's just like, oh yeah, cool.
So many drivers, we were just like, I mean, some were, you could tell they had somewhere to go or they had somewhere, and we, couldn't just bombard them. But it was like, hey man, what's up? And they're like, hey, how's it going? Like, just everybody was nice, good time. Man, I was just blown away by the whole thing, and just how many drivers would be like, "Hey, yeah, how's it going?" Like, they were happy to see you or something. I get got to kind of put your friendly face on, but I mean, I don't remember really anybody.
It's a work day for them, I would imagine their attitudes are usually like, "Don't talk to me today. Like, I'm going to work. Like, talk to me tomorrow." But yeah, no one's like that. Pretty much everyone's super, super nice and casual.
I mean, Austin Dillon sat there and talked stories with us and your dad. I mean, Matt Benedetto walked by. We said hey to him. Bob Pockris, old Bobby Poo, like he came through, took a picture with us, and we sat there and talked for a second. I mean, it's just all that you take in. You're just like, man, this is so cool.
And the thing about Bob too is, because I've had him on the show before. I've talked to him. I've talked to him a number of times. Anytime you're on pit road, you see Bob, obviously. The thing that we both mentioned that I appreciated was I think he's like a pretty big masker, which, I don't care one way or the other, but I just appreciated when we asked for the photo, like the selfie, he specifically took the mask down. And I just appreciate that, because I'm like, that's such a polite thing to do, because obviously we want to see your face in the selfie, with the mask on, it's kind of different. So super nice guy. We hung out with Eric Esep for a while. Actually, a good while.
Good friend of the show. It was great to finally meet him. I know y'all have been buds.
Were you surprised of how tall he was?
Now, like, I remember seeing pictures of people, and I was like, dude, that guy's tall. But when I first saw him there, I was like, yeah, he's like 7 foot, man.
When I first met him, I didn't know he was like tall like that. I just saw him on camera. He came over to my apartment, and he got out of his like Toyota Corolla, and he's like 7 feet tall. And you're just like, holy shit. You just you can't comprehend it until you actually stand next to him.
He seemed like because he said he was there by himself and stuff too. It seemed like he was like, "Oh, hey, yeah, like thank God y'all are here. I have someone to talk to or something." Like
right? Yeah, I think he was just like walking around because he got invited, and that's why. Yeah, I think we hung out with him for a good while because I've just known Eric for a while, and so we like hanging out when we can, and he's a fun dude to hang out with. I like talking with him. I mean, anyone else? Any other shout outs? I know, like I said, I mentioned Tyler Reddick. That was a big surprise. Once again, I might buy some Reddick merch now because of how nice he was. Like, genuinely, that's all it took. I didn't.
There were some drivers, like, when I was walking down, a shout out or like fist bumps and high five and stuff, but I didn't get a picture because I was like, I just want to say hey to him.
And it's going like this so quick. Yeah. Driver every 2 seconds, and you're like,
I did dab up Ryan Blaney. That was cool. Like, I was like, hey Ryan,
did you?
Yeah, Ryan Blaney walked by and he's like, hey, thanks, man. And like, we're just nuts. And I was like,
I would have been like, hey, man, what's up with you attacking me on Twitter, dog?
Yeah. It was
I
cool,
am now.
man.
What's up?
I said hey to Michael McDowell. He said thanks. Trying to think of any other drivers. Todd Dillon was walking around.
Yeah, Matty B was just like posted up, just talking to anybody.
We got to see Dale Jarrett and Steve Letarte down there getting,
that's right,
up for the show.
Yep.
Man, it's all that was so cool.
When they were doing the NBC, like on the pit road, that coverage before the race, we were standing literally they were in pit tower, and we're right underneath them just watching them. So whenever they're having people come in, they're coming right past us to do their makeup and stuff. And like Dakota said, everybody's super cool down there. So if you just stop and you're like, hey man, what's up? They'll stop and talk to you. It's really weird. You would think they would kind of have bigger heads about it, but none of them really seem to. They all seem pretty easy going about it.
Yeah. Dude, one thing, I remember hanging out with Joe and them Saturday night. Can't wait to see y'all's content episode.
I was gonna say shout out also.
Yeah,
they let me put their cooler at their setup in the infield for a little bit. So
they had one hell of a setup out there in infield between 3 and 4. Got to hang out with them boys Saturday night. It was a great time, a barn burner event. So fun to see you guys. But Joe, he went to go look for something outside the track, his mic or something, and he said he was like, crap, I don't want to walk all the way back. And he's like, maybe find a ride. And literally, he's like, as he's thinking this, I may be butchering your story, but he said, like, Ryan Blaney was like, come by. He's like, hey, Blaney. And he's like, what's up, man? He's like, can I get a ride? And he was like, yeah, hop on. And Ryan Blaney gives him a ride to the damn infield back to his camp. Like, you're never going to get, like, what are the odds of something cool like that happening? Like, he's always going to remember that. Shout out to them guys. That's cool for them.
But that's what creates fans. Like, I know it's probably difficult for drivers. I'm not saying they always should act like that, because I would probably be an asshole. It's just, I think if you were a driver, it is important to kind of keep that in the back of your head. You're like, every time I interact with one of these people, even if I'm pissed off and don't want to, like that could literally, that one instance could create a fan for life.
Right.
That's how.
And like, I mean, honestly, what other drivers are going to see be like, yeah, man, hop on. Like,
right.
Some drivers be like, no, I can't, or go fuck yourself, or they probably just kept running and not just waved, I
mean, my personal issues with Blaney. If he would have done that to me, I would have bought a shirt the next day. Because I mean, like, what a cool dude. I was totally wrong. Like, I love this guy. I'm buying his merch. So yeah, just little stuff like that. And I mean, yeah, shout out to the Sundays for NASCAR, by the way. Definitely, like I said, I want to give them a shout out. Check out their episode when they come out with that. They were a lot of fun. It was good getting to meet them.
That was another thing that was fun, was like, there was a bunch of our friends were at the race. I got to hang out with a bunch of bros. I got there Saturday earlier than I thought when the Xfinity race. That was fun. Go seeing Noah win. Saturday race was awesome. Xfinity Series package. Saturday race delivered, and got to hang out with boys. You went outside. Little did I know, I wish you could have been there, but the damn Darlington nightlife on the infield, don't sleep on it. Nick Rhodes over there, Sundays for NASCAR, I knew a little spot, and I was like, hey, man, it's my first time Darlington, the Darley-Daga infield experience, and man, it didn't disappoint. It was a little wild.
Yeah, I never did a Saturday night infield in
Darlington.
I just didn't know it was a thing. So you're saying it's definitely worth checking out. Yeah,
if you're camping in the weekend, either go camp in the infield or find you a way in there, and it doesn't disappoint, man. I had a great time. I mean, it's like a little Dega-esque little taste of it, on a smaller scale, but man, it was nice. I was like, I'm glad I came out here. This was worth it.
Because they were tenting with just or they're camping with just tents, right? They didn't have an RV.
Yeah, they had tents, but there was like skid row of RVs and campers and people.
So what I'm saying is, yeah, if you're a poor person like me in Dakota and you can't afford a RV or camper or something, it shouldn't let you deter you from just doing the infield thing. It sounds like that's where the party's at.
It was great, man. Like those guys had it going on in their campsite. We need to, plan a race next year. If it ain't Dega, do something like, let's do our own little infield experience.
I think what I want to do is plan it out with me and you, throw money into it, see if we can get some sponsors to throw money into it, and rent a camper and RV.
Dude, that'd be so lit.
And like do it big. Like have our own shit going on.
Dega lot.
Yeah. I've been wanting to do that for a while. It's just,
I definitely, I mean, y'all are going to see me in about 10, 15 years. I'm going to be the dad with RV DJing, and it's going to be wild. Nathan's bringing the barbecue sauce. It's going to be insane.
Yeah, no. So it was a great experience in the infield. I know Dakota had a great weekend. Also getting some comments on the camo.
Oh, shout out Bobby, man.
Shirt. There you go.
Hunting buds for life. I mean, Bobby's a big supporter of the show. He's rocking it.
You're ready for hunting season. I'm ready for Woodstock.
Yeah, there it is. Y'all going to Woodstock?
No, but I'm wearing a tie-dye shirt.
Deer season opens Saturday in Georgia. It's a big deal, but yeah, man, we got Bristol in 2 weeks. Old Bobby's going, Nathan's going, everybody we use going to Bristol. We're gonna miss you. Maybe next year.
Man, I keep saying next year. That's the worst part. Is every year I say next year. So I'm gonna have to make it happen. I think next year.
Next year, maybe you can just drive on out.
Yeah. Because I definitely want to do Bristol night race. Which, by the way, I know me and you went up to the grandstands to watch the rest of the race because you got to see your first pit stop like right in person.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. So like yeah, our thing was we knew I wanted to go and get my fan on and actually be in stands and watch the race. Right. That's the only thing is being down there in the garage and pits is like, man, this is so cool up close. But then it's like I don't know what the hell's going on around the track. And like the Bowman wreck, all of a sudden just came on pit road, wrecked, smoking, and I was like, dude, look, what the hell? And we didn't know what happened. But I was like, okay, if we're gonna be down here, I just want to see one live pit stop up close, right in my face. And I was blown away. Well, we were right at the entrance of pit road, and Kyle Larson had the first pit box, and we were literally like 5 feet from the guys, and they're going over the wall. Like they're on the tire, and I'll tell you what, I think pit road speed there was like 55 miles an hour. Well, yeah, that sounds like normal road speed, highway speed. Well, when you're standing there and these guys are just barreling on a pit road, it looks like they're going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And these guys just jump out in front of the car and go to work. And it was just like I was blown away, insane, seeing the stop up that close and those guys just doing their job and knocking it out. It was insane. But then we went up stands, man, and got our fan on. It was oh man. I had one thing. I was like, if we could like redo it, maybe we would have done this. I mean, maybe we would have missed that finish. I was like, when it was like 50 to go, we should have walked back down.
Going back down. I thought the same thing.
But
I thought the same thing, but I didn't want to say anything. I was like, I don't know if maybe my wife doesn't want to walk.
I'm sure our camera girl probably wouldn't have wanted to do that either. But
she's a trooper. She would have.
Yeah, she did a hell of a job. Shout out Mama Rattlesnake. Dude, I was thinking about what, because I was watching interviews and I was seeing other people just walking around with their passes, and I was like, we should go back down there. But I was like, hell, drivers get out of the car. Last thing we want to do is take a selfie with somebody.
It's so funny. I thought the exact same thing.
But I was
looking down there because we were right across from that victory lane that they turn into, and I was like, we could like just dip down there right now. And it would take 5 minutes, and we'd be at the victory lane thing.
Oh no, we were kind of like ready to go, and we were exhausted. But I was like,
how great is it though being in the grandstands during a night race in the summer? Like, dude, it's the best. It's just,
you said it during the race. You were like, you can't beat this night. It's a night race.
I turned to you and I was like, dude, how perfect is this?
And hell, perfect. I was thinking about that too when you said it. It's like the first round is 3 night races in a row. Boom, boom, boom. I thought they were.
I didn't even think about that.
I thought, well, that's what I've seen. I mean, maybe Nathan will correct me. I'm pretty sure Richmond's a night race. This week.
That's the one I have to double check. But yeah, definitely Bristol. So, I didn't even think about that.
But they've been doing Richmond day races. Really, I don't think anybody's a fan of. Richmond, my whole life has been a night race, and I like it a night race. I think last year was supposed to be a night race, and it got rained out to a Sunday race. But I don't know. Night races are the best, especially in Tennessee. Richmond is a night race. Thank you.
I would argue, especially when they're in South Carolina.
The first 3 races of the playoffs are night races, which is just like
badass. That makes up for all the road courses.
Dude, Darlington, Richmond, Bristol, like that's 3 triple threats. Like that is a great time. My one buddy
this lineup is perfect. This is what we always wanted.
My one buddy Jake Watt's going to all 3. I don't know. He's a madman, but I'm like, dude, I couldn't pull that off, but that'd be fun as hell to go to. 3 night races in a row. I don't know what the total is of night races in the whole season, but you just can't beat it, man. You just can't.
I've never been to Richmond, but I feel like it's probably a lot of fun. Also, especially for a night race.
I think me and Nathan went in 16. Was it 16? No, it was 18. I can't remember. One of the teens.
Doesn't make a difference to me.
Yeah, we went and dude, Richmond. I mean, we'll save that for next week. But Richmond, or later episode this week. Obviously. But Richmond is a fun track. Bristol is Bristol. Man. Anyways, night races, first round of playoffs. Let's jump into Darlington.
Yeah. I mean, so on top of the fan experience we had, which was top tier, I mean, legendary, memorable. On top of that, the race itself
Dude.
Holy shit. I was a little worried about the people watching it at home because there wasn't a lot of passes, like specifically for the lead. And I'm like, man, I hope people are enjoying this because I'm loving this race here. And we've discussed that. There's almost always a disconnect between the fans at the track and how much they enjoy the race and the fans at home and how much they enjoy it. So I was a little nervous. And then I saw Jeff Gluck's tweet, and it was over 90%, the best voted one
race of the year so far.
Right.
I agree. I totally agree with that. I mean, it was a damn good race. And backed up after Daytona, and then the Michigan race before.
I was going to say Michigan right before that.
We got some momentum going here. This was a great freaking race.
It might just be the best season yet.
Dude, Fox is like so slamming their fist.
Fox is like, we said this.
We've been saying this the whole time.
All it took was Fox to get out of.
Yeah, so these races have been getting freaking good. Shout out 750 package. Yeah. I thought it was like a classic Darlington. I know it was a long race, 500 miles. Some people complain about that, but it is what it is. That's what makes it hard.
I love the 500.
It's at the Lady in Black. It's too tough to tame. You know, these cars were sliding all over the place. People slapping the fence and still coming off next to somebody. And it was like, man, how awesome is this?
Right where we were at, coming off turn 4, it was just a perfect angle to see these guys literally just sliding sideways around. I
saw Larson in stage 2 leading. And he came off, and I thought he was about to spin out. He came off and was just like sideways. Straightened it out and kept going. And I was like, dude, yes.
Every time there was guys battling coming out of 4, one of them closest to the wall was almost sideways.
Tire fall off.
Yeah.
Darlington slipping and sliding. We had the interesting turn 2 patch. That was kind of neat, but I don't really know how much it affected the race.
We didn't get to hear, obviously, the broadcast, but I was interested. I was like, I wonder if they're talking about this at all.
Yeah. There was beating and banging, too. I mean, look at Chase Elliott. Look at William Byron cutting a tire.
Look at Kyle Larson finishing the race.
Larson's selling it in there, NASCAR heat style. It was, it was a good old-fashioned Darlington race. I mean, look at the car that won. His car's beat the shit. Donuts, wall scrapes all over it. It's going to be a great race version for a Hamlin fan. Man, this was a good one. This was definitely one where it's like, yeah, it should have been there because this is one to remember.
This is one I'm happy that I can look back and be like, I was at that race.
I literally after the race, Hamlin, got her done. He was in the top 5 the whole race. But I looked and I said, I'm not even upset Hamlin.
I'm not. I know we both said that. I was like, that's fine. It's his first win of the season, by the way, which is insane. And his first win of the season comes on the first playoff race. Yeah. And that race was like probably the best race of the whole year.
Hamlin's got something cooking, especially off the week he had last week with all his drama. I mean, swinging past his knees, bro. That thing is – Hamlin's on fire. I think Hamlin's automatically a favorite, perhaps. He's got consistency. Now he's going to lock some wins. I wouldn't doubt this is his last win of the year. I would definitely put him in the Final 4.
Yeah, I mean, it mixes it up. It definitely mixes it up with how he performed tonight. I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to get it done. I figured he would make it to probably the round of 8 just because of his consistency. I was like, I just don't know if he'll even get a win this year. But he did it, and now it changes everything because he's been so good this season. We've just kind of counted him out because he didn't have a win. But now that he's proven he can get the win in the playoffs with his consistency, you're right. He might be a heavy contender for that Final 4 spot.
Well, everyone talks about, Denny chokes, Denny in high pressure situations, Denny kind of doesn't take advantage of it. And maybe this time, maybe one last time he turns it around. I don't know.
He did not let up. Larson was throwing everything he could at him on those. Almost all of stage 3. For a long time, Larson's running right up against the wall, doing everything he can to catch up to Hamlin. I don't know what the times were because in the broadcast, I'm sure they mentioned that. It seemed like he would move up a little bit, fall back a little bit. I mean, he just couldn't get Hamlin. Like, it was just impossible. Hamlin was running perfect the whole time. At the end of stage 3, no one was going to catch him.
Oh, no, dude. It was literally like Larson was catching him a little, but then he'd mess up. But then, he was coming, but he was running out of time. Hamlin was consistent the whole night. He was top 5 the whole night up there. And same as him, the 5 and the 42. Those guys were class of the field. We did see some some crazy chaos in this race. There was quite a number of cautions, but the playoff drivers seem to bring grenades with their damn haulers with them. Yeah, I mean, there were some cautions that helped some breaks there. Definitely helped Kevin out at one time. But it seemed like every playoff driver had a Houdini working magic on the track because it was not kind to the playoff drivers. I think only like a few of them didn't have mistakes.
Yeah, everybody had mistakes. I mean, at one point in the race, each person in the top 10, I think I said, oh, I don't know if they'll, finish well tonight at some point throughout that race because everybody was making, I mean, not even necessarily their fault mistakes, but, shit was just happening to every car. And
the 48 slaps it up in the fence, hits his buddy, then the 24 hits him. They tear up their shit right off the rip. I think it's like lap 8. All of a sudden, we get a restart. This is when we were walking up the stands. 34 loses off 2 and just demolishes the inside wall. He's done. 2 guys having troubles. I think the 19 sped on pit road. 4 has a loose wheel, a flat tire at the end. The 9 creams the right front. 24 blows right front, both of them into one. I think all of Hendricks put a car in the wall in this race. I mean, who else? Kurt, late race, gets tire rub, has to pit like before the final restart and drives his balls off back to the top 6. A lot of guys did, redeem themselves. 8 started off strong, but he kind of just fell off there late. The 10 he was up in the top 10 for a bit, but some guys just faded off.
Right. Austin Dillon, I know he was having car problems, and then on top of that, the failed inspection when he had to start from the back.
Yeah, they were already behind the trigger.
Right. There was just so many.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing.
Christopher Bell faded late too. He was up in the top 3 at one point, and he was willing. Hey, shout out Stock Car Spec, my boys up north. I mean,
okay, so who were some of the
one out too? That we forgot Blaney.
Remember, who were some of the drivers that really impressed you? We know Denny Hamlin won. We know Kyle Larson.
Dude, I don't know.
Threw it out there for a second, so like those aren't necessarily a surprise. But I'm just the top 10 is wild. It's riddled with guys that aren't in the playoffs.
I don't know who I'm more impressed by. The fact that Ross Chastain almost had a chance or like almost won this race, or the fact that Corey LaJoie was up there boxing in the top 7. Hey, I mean, like I was just saying, I think those two take the cake for Ross almost getting a win, showing incredible speed. He was up there pushing Larson and Hamlin late at the race. I thought they were all 3 going to have a chance. But Corey LaJoie, I think, kind of takes it for me. I know they faded late and kind of finished 15th, which is still a great finish for Spire Motorsports. But LaJoie at one point, Kevin had his tire trouble, so he moved to 7th, and he was running down Chase Elliott in 6th. Like straight up, no bullshit. Corey LaJoie was wheeling and dealing and catching a Hendricks car. And it was like, the boy can drive. I mean, I've always been a shoe fan. Shout out Nathan, is like, I like Corey LaJoie. I mean, I'd like to see him, get a shot at me. Either Spire's coming along with some equipment, or maybe he moves up and gets a better ride. I don't know. But I like Corey, and it was awesome to see the little engine that could up there boxing with the big boys. Ross Chastain, super impressive run. He was in the top. Remember, you were like, dude, watch the 42.
That's what I was just going to mention. Yeah.
And he was motoring through the field. And so he, like, the 42 was flying, gets all the way up in top 10. I'm like, yeah, he's all the way up in top 5. And I'm like, I was like, did he take tires? Is he on tires or something? What the fuck is this? Like, I'm blown away. Shout out to our spec boys up north. Let's do something.
Yeah.
Chastain, man.
I was essentially going to say the same thing. I had 2 that I wanted to mention. Was Ross Chastain finishing P3, but I think because Austin was all over the place, Austin Dillon from the front to a top 10, and I like watching my driver, and so because I'm watching him, I get to see kind of the faster rides passing him. Like, let's just be blunt about it. That's what I was watching, and every once in a while I'd point out to you like who's making these moves. 42 early on, I pointed out, I was like, dude, that equipment is insane because he is just driving past everybody.
Well, I remember before Kurt's problems, they were both in the top 5. Ganassi cars were in the top 5, and I was
that was the second driver I was going to mention.
Oh, okay.
Kurt. Yeah, because the same thing with Kurt, man, we thought his day was over.
Yeah.
And I was watching him passing everybody, and this is when Austin was finally having a good run.
I remember I yelled at you. I was like, "What the hell happened to Kurt? He's in the back."
Right. We thought he was done, and we thought Austin was done. I guess that's another shout out. He finished top 10. Blew me out of the water. I thought he was completely done. Austin finally was having a comeback there in stage 3, and at one point in that comeback, while Austin's passing drivers slowly, mind you, but he's passing them, I see Kurt just kind of pulling away from people, and I'm like, what is going on? And this is the very end of the race, and Kurt's just picking up ground.
If there's a late race restart, dude, Kurt's coming.
I don't know what was up with that team's equipment that night, but they were on one. But like that whole team's equipment was just
Ganassi brought the big show. They definitely have those cars hooked up. Chris Buescher was up there late race restart. He was like 4th. I think he fell back to 9th. But I mean, hey, good run for that 17 team. I remember Ryan Preece was up to 9th at one point. Probably because he met us.
I was just going to mention that Preece finished in 12th, and his crew chief Trent Owens said if they got like a top 15 finish, they'd be happy with the night. Yeah. And so I think we were actually the lucky charms pretty much for every driver that we had full conversations with. We were lucky charms.
Yeah.
Austin Dillon top 10. What did Kurt Busch finish? 5th or 6th? Okay.
6.
And Ryan Preece 12th. I mean, I think we're the lucky charms for all these guys.
I mean, I think the 4 actually showed some speed. Went up there and led some laps. They had something cooking over there in the 4 camp. Came back for a 5th, and after this year is a freaking good run for that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think anybody that came in contact was pretty stoked to have a good day. So seems like you need to just
except Tyler Reddick.
Yeah, well, he went up there.
He talked to us for a while, and I don't know what happened. I feel like if I was watching on TV, they might have mentioned something.
Yeah, it just seemed like there was definitely guys that had a good handle in the daylight, and as the freaking awesome there's nothing like a Darlington sunset as the race transitions. It's always freaking gorgeous.
Yep.
And if you haven't seen for yourself, definitely make sure you see it in the upcoming years. Nothing beats it, man. But as it's
like pink and orange,
it's a freaking painting, awesome. Dude.
Yeah.
So as it transitioned from day to night, you could definitely tell like some of the guys faded to the back, some of the guys from the back came to the front, which is awesome to see. Like who had the setup, who could handle the track through the night. Just too tough to tame. They always say it. We got to see it firsthand.
So it was an incredible race. A lot of surprises from a lot of drivers that have done well this season. This whole season's been kind of a surprise, but we got to, I think, deep dive into the Larson dive bomb at the end. Because that's what this whole race, it was kind of what I was saying about Daytona. The whole race was incredible. The ending with the wreck kind of like just brought it down a little bit for me. No, I didn't like the wreck at the end of the Daytona.
Oh, you're talking about Daytona? Yeah.
It kind of like killed it a little bit for me, all the momentum. This was the opposite. Yeah. This was a great race and ended on just a wild note. Yeah, it actually worked out, and I was like satisfied.
I didn't even think like me and you kept believing each other like 4 to go, 3 to go, 2 to go. Like I was like, he ain't gonna get him.
He's not gonna do it. We're like, he's not making up the time.
I was like, if Larson gets there, I doubt he does anything. You know, they're buddies, and I was like, he ain't gonna get him. He can't catch him. And then all of a sudden, I was paying attention to Kevin's flat tire deal last lap. But then
he just said, "Fuck it."
Yeah, I kind of looked up, and everybody's freaking out, and Larson just slammed it in the wall and was still catching him. That was the thing. Like the wall slowed him down none, and he just
he was on his ass. I was like, "Oh, he actually might pass him."
11 block. He almost got it. 11 blocks, and he punts the 11 and gets him loose, and then he still almost got to his outside, railing it off the wall. Yep. It kind of reminded me of a little Ricky Craven deal. Like it was something. It was better than them just going in there nose to tail and nothing happened. It made it. Everybody jumped up and screamed like, "Holy crap!"
I love the fact that Larson just said, "Fuck it."
Oh, big ball!
This is my only opportunity to win. I'm wrecking the car.
Well, that's the thing. There's nothing. He's got nothing to lose. Right. It was awesome. I literally thought to myself, I was like, Ross was kind of far back at that point, but I was like, what if he'd hit the 11 and spun him?
And then Ross,
he's in the wall and Ross passed him or something.
That's kind of what I was thinking when he was in the wall. I was like, oh shit, this is going to be a wreck. And Ross is just far enough back to like take the low line and just get past him.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It just what it should have, could have, or something. But it was awesome to see Larson make it interesting, and great for media content, great for pictures and videos. It made it spicy. And then
my only question would be like, do you think Rick Hendrick is upset about it? Because he's like, you didn't have to do that. You're going to finish second anyway. Like, why'd you destroy my car? Or do you think he's like, yeah, or do you think he's just like, I love the balls on this guy? Like Chase Elliott doesn't do that. He doesn't just throw his car in the wall to try to get a win. I mean, I don't know. I don't
know either. I mean, I've seen all this stuff. Larson getting out and his crew's like, man, way to go for it. Left it all on the track.
Right,
I mean,
right.
It seems like they're just happy he tried.
Rick Hendrick was in that pit tower. So
yeah. Hey, we were standing 5 feet from Billionaire. It was pretty cool.
We were right underneath him. And we pointed it out. We pointed it out early before when the race just started, how interesting it was that he was at Larson's and not Chase Elliott's.
I always wondered that with all owners, like when they have multiple teams.
Does that solidify the fact that Larson runs that team now? Like,
for sure.
That's the guy.
I've never seen back to the Martin Kellogg's days. Like, it's been a minute since this 5 car's been on rails like this. And they're stage 2 halfway. I was like, well, I guess it's Larson's race. Who's going to finish second? But so there was some very awesome strategy in the stage 3. Like, you had guys that were taking 3 stops and guys are going to try to make it on 2.
Right.
And it definitely divvied up the running order and kind of what's going to go on. And then the Blaney spin just put that in the bed and was like, okay, now we got a shootout for 50 laps. This is going to be good.
Well, and that was something I mentioned during the race because I noticed it was hard to get passes. It's Darlington, that's expected. But, you have to struggle to make passes there, especially because if somebody's just on the high line and they're running well, it's like it takes so long, so many laps to finally get around them. And so I think that just makes pit stops that much more important. Specifically, one of the pit stops I was watching when Austin Dillon was trying to get past Bubba, and he just was not doing it. But he was faster off pit road and made the pass on pit road, and then Bubba never passed him again. And I was like, that's how you got to do it sometimes.
One thing I noticed was like just like you're saying, I remember – I think it was like Chase Elliott, it was Kevin, Chase Elliott, then Kurt Busch. And Kurt pit a lap ahead of them because I was watching that battle going. Kurt pit a lap ahead of them and came out, and then they came exactly to pit. And then 9 passed the 4 on pit road, and I was like, dang it. Like 9 had a good stop. Kevin was conservative. And then when they came out, Kurt was ahead of both of them. And I was like, that 1 lap of fresher grip, he gained that much speed on those guys. And whether 1 lap made a difference later on, I very doubt it. But it's like it was almost like whoever got to pit road first made up time on the guys ahead of them, which was I noticed from the stands. I don't really know what went on after that, but I mean, to my point, what I was saying earlier was Rick Hendrick choosing Kyle Larson. I feel like solidified, at least for me, visually seeing it is like Larson is control of this team now. How has that got to feel as Chase Elliott or a Chase Elliott fan to know that you were the golden boy? You were the guy that just won the championship. You are the most popular driver in NASCAR. You should be like the new Jeff Gordon of Hendrick. Like you should be the guy. And out of nowhere, Kyle Larson, who had 3 wins previously, is now the golden boy and taking over the team. And then I've seen people ask him that in interviews, and they're like, he's like, oh no, I mean, we're all friends here. And it's like,
of course.
Yeah. I mean, he is your reigning defending champ, but it's like, hey, that new kid on the block is like kicking ass and taking. Right. I see crazy ass Chase Elliott fans be like, this is bullshit. Hendrick's giving the 5 the good stuff. The 9.
I've seen that a lot. Yeah. I've seen a lot of people say that.
Nuts, dude, they're all working their ass off and trying to make the fastest cars they have. Shut up. But it is.
And also to that note, if they are right, I don't think they are, but let's just say their theory is correct, then they have to admit that last year Chase Elliott had way better equipment than all of his teammates, and that's the only reason he won a championship. I think that's the argument they want to make.
I think that championship race was horseshit. The 9 was back 2 laps faster in the whole field.
We can. That's a whole nother conversation.
Oh yeah, but man, I think Larson is the golden boy, dude. Like he is taking the throne over there. I just think, I mean, as much as I'm like, I like Larson, but then kind of the success and the, bandwagon that's coming with it, that's kind of made me salty where I'm like,
That's going to happen with any great driver.
I'm glad he's doing it, but I'm like, man, come on. But after the year Larson had last year, to totally come back and just kick ass, if he wins a championship, I want him to be just throwing a middle finger out his burnout. I just think it'd be so cool. It's just
I do think I mean, he is getting a bit more of a bandwagon fan base now. I think people are finally catching on, but that's going to happen with any driver that's that good.
Oh yeah.
I think the things I do like about Larson is he doesn't really talk much like in the press. He doesn't seem to care much about any of that stuff.
No.
And he's just an incredibly like raw, talented driver. Like that's all he wants to do is just drive. And so I appreciate that. If he's our champion, I think I'd be happy because he's just a dude that I think loves driving cars.
Oh yeah, he definitely will have earned it. But getting there is one thing, winning it's another. We'll all see what happens. I don't know.
One more quick shout out. We are brought to you by Yeats. That is yeatsofficial.com. 10% discount code Chairgatin. If you get these sunglasses, you will randomly get compliments from NASCAR drivers. And
NASCAR drivers will think you look cool as shit. So if you want to get compliments from your favorite NASCAR driver, get you a pair of Yeats. Also, stay tuned on the medias the next couple weeks. See us at upcoming races. You might be getting, might be some shout outs and giveaways coming your way.
Might be some giveaways. We might have something up our sleeves.
And follow in the comments.
Yeah, we might have something working up our sleeves right now. About some social giveaways for some of these sexy shades. We're also brought to you by Yeti. Hey. Use our link in the description below if you want to buy anything Yeti to keep your shit cold. It's the best at keeping your shit cold. Maybe that should be their new slogan.
Yes, best at keeping your shit cold.
Yeti, the best at keeping your shit cold.
Brought to you by Yeti, the Yeti boys.
The Yeti boys. Let's go. And we're sponsored by them, so we won't get copyright claims for calling ourselves the Yeti boys.
That's a good one. The Yeti boys are back at it.
I kind of like that. We need to start working Yeti more in.
Yeti's boys are eating beers at the Chairgatin.
So, would you say Denny Hamlin is now a favorite to make it to the Final Four?
Like Nathan and I always joke about being
Nathan,
I
don't know why Dakota hasn't got you a pair of Yeats already. That's on him. Y'all live by each other. I'm sorry. That's your boy. He should have already hooked you up.
So I hate when people are like, oh, they like Michael McDowell won the 500s. He's a favorite for the championship. Like, no, okay, let's pump the brakes.
All right, there's a bit of a difference though.
Kyle Larson's won 5 races. He's your favorite. It's like, well, we all saw how that went last year. It's like, dude, I hate when people do this. However, Denny, almost won in this regular season championship, been super consistent. I totally would bet money that he would make it to the Final Four. Yeah. It's really about making it to the round of 8. I feel like half the playoffs is just like get to the round 8, and the round of 8 is the nitty gritty. I think we should switch the round 1 and round 3, just switch them. I don't know. Martinsville's pretty good. But I think Darlington and Richmond, Bristol would be just as good.
Right.
But I kind of hate that it's like Kansas, Texas, Martinsville.
Yep. Right.
But it is what it is. Making it through those 3 races, you make it and you're in. I love the playoff format. I think it's awesome. But I think Hamlin's good at just about all the tracks. So I'd put money on it.
Nathan likes to give himself credit for things that nobody else heard.
Yeah, he does that.
Okay, so there's Hamlin. What about Kyle Busch?
So, and then
where's Kyle Busch at now?
I also seen this. Like, people were like, "Kyle's done. He ain't even gonna make it around 8." It's like Kyle could very, very well win.
Tell me
the next
you don't.
Races.
Tell me you've never watched a full NASCAR season without telling me. Is when you say Kyle Busch won't make it. He's done.
Yeah.
Because that's just an insane statement to make. You can't count the guy out ever.
Yeah, no, never. And we always say it too: is never, ever, ever. If that 18, if the wheels are rolling, do not count them out.
Never.
I've seen him almost win races with shit cars. I've seen him wreck and win races. It never counts 18 out.
Never count him out. That's Kyle Busch.
He'll be a threat all the way to the finale, I think. I mean, do you want to try to talk about who you think's in and out of the first round?
I think we should 100% jump into that. So first, I can just say the currently the 4 that are out, that are sitting out right now. I have it written down here is Alex Bowman with 0 points.
Him and Reddick are tied.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works because on the website it has Bowman technically out and Reddick in, but they both have 0 points.
I think it's point wise. Like if this was the final race, it would be point wise. They're tied, but whoever had that best average finish of the 3 race or best finish of the 3 races would advance.
Okay.
So like right now they're tied, but Reddick finished better at Darlington than Bowman did. So that's how that works.
Okay. So yeah, Bowman's the first out with 0 points.
Yeah.
And then Kyle Busch minus 2 points, so 2 points out.
That's a stage finish and you're back in it.
And that's the thing is I guess I should just mention right off the bat is I would put money on Kyle Busch winning a race. And even if he doesn't, he's gonna get stage wins. I mean, the guy's in
6 Richmond wins and 8 Bristol wins.
Every other driver that's in the playoffs right now is talking to their team, especially the guys lower, like Almirola, Tyler Reddick, those guys kind of near the bottom. And I think they all agree, like, hey, Kyle Busch is getting in. So who's the next one out?
Yeah. Race 18 hard, my boy.
Right. Because we can just kind of assume, even though he is technically currently out, there's more races and he will not, I don't think he'll wreck every single race. He's probably getting in. After that, it's William Byron, 9 points out. That's where it's a bit more of a drop.
Yeah.
It's still early.
Like, I doubt it could happen. Who knows how strategy happened? But if, like, William Byron gets a second or third in the first stage at Richmond and Reddick gets none, I mean, that just, like, now he's only 2, And this is the part I love about stage racing is these points can change in the first stage, second stage. Like, you don't have to wait to the end and be like, all right, how'd the points end up? Like, through the race, the points change. Like, it's right. You got to watch the whole race to see.
And these guys that are lower on the list are really going to be combating for stage finishes.
Yeah, they're going to be
wins obviously are huge, but guys like Tyler Reddick and Alex Bowman and William Byron, they're like, dude, if I can get 1 or 2 stage wins, like, I'm in.
Yes.
Like, a win locks me in, but points-wise, if I can get some stage wins, I think I'm secure. So, I mean, we're going to be seeing crazy battles just throughout the race. And then last but not least is Michael McDowell, 20 points out. Kind of saw this one coming.
I really hate that, like, they had that breakout 500 win, got them in. It's cool. It's awesome for that team. Huge money for that team. Great exposure. Good for Loves. But then, like, hey, here's your shot, boy. Let's see what you got. Like, you made it to the playoffs. Let's go. And
right away.
Smashes the inside wall. And, I mean, he was up in, like, 7th. He was, like, up. He was
That's true.
He passed good cars in the first 25 laps, man. Like, he was racing, and I said, look at McDowell, dude. He's he's up in here, and who knows where he would have finished, but I just hate they kind of never even had a chance from here.
At this point, if he would have finished the race, he might. I mean,
he could have.
What did Reddick finish, like 16th or something?
Yeah.
I mean,
Reddick's
in.
If he could have just had a normal day, like
he might have been
20,
in.
He could have had some good, better points than them other guys could have had. I hate it for him, man. I hate he wrecked.
Okay, so
kind of out before he started.
So then, tell me, you do yours, and then I'll do mine. Tell me the 4 drivers you think will not be making the playoffs then into the next round, and you can explain why if you want, or just say.
I kind of find it crazy too that they're Hendricks this year, every Hendrick car is kicking ass. They all got wins and shit. But then, here we are looking at 2 Hendrick cars in the bottom right now.
Yep. Trust me, I'm going to discuss this.
I kind of find that a little like, ooh, damn, y'all kind of jumped the gun, didn't you? But
to be fair, it's after one race. It's after one race. So
I think everybody's going to be slinging for the fences. And I hate to say it because some of these guys were really cool to us. Right. I think McDowell's out. Unless McDowell does some crazy shit. Yeah. I think it was fun having you here. Get your goodie bag, and we'll see you on the next one, bud. I think McDowell's a given. I'm sorry. Unless that's the thing too is like, unless I think the Byron runs better than Bowman, but Bowman's capital. He's got 3 wins this year. So Bowman is like totally.
Trust me, I have a whole conversation laid out about
Bowman is totally like lucked into some wins when it mattered, but that's how you do it. But I'm not seeing the consistency.
He's got 3 wins this year. I feel like people forget that.
I'm not seeing the consistency there to like go get stage points, go get stage wins.
Yep.
But Byron, I do see him running some top 5s. So McDowell's out. I'm going to say Bowman's out. I'm going to say Bowman doesn't make it. Kind of sucks because he wadded in the fence, and that's his own damn fault. And that'll be a huge token out because if he goes the next round, he's still got those 3 playoff wins to transfer into the next round. So that's a big hitter out if he doesn't make it. And then I'm going to say it. I'm rooting for old little Reddick, but I think Reddick's not going to have the finishes or points to advance. They show speeds early. However, Reddick's a Bristol boy. He knows how to get around there, and he might bring a piece to Bristol and, be in a must-win situation. We'll see. I think Reddick's out, and I think Almirola's out. I think I'm not 18 is going to make it. He's going to kill it. So I'm going to say Almirola doesn't have the finishes he needs, and the 10, 8, 48, and 34 are out.
So my list and your list is almost identical, which is not surprising. I mean, given the guys that are on the list, I think we can look at the list without even doing any deep diving and say, these 4 or 5 guys, let's be real, compared to the champion drivers we have over here. So first of all, Michael McDowell, like you said, sorry, dog. Like, I love that you're there, and I hope I'm wrong for whatever reason, but I just, if I'm having to make a list and make my predictions, you are the first to go because you're already the bottom of the, you know what I mean? Even if you were just inside the cutoff line, I'd probably still pick you. And I don't mean to be rude. That's just how it is. Next I have this in order of, I think, even points wise, where people are going to end up. Eric Almirola. He's my next out.
Okay.
He is in above the cutoff line, but only at +3. So
like literally
one race changes that
from 9th to 15th, like one stage flips all that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, Almirola, he finished the race and he did look pretty good, but I don't see it happening. I think that's kind of self-explanatory at this point based on the season he's had. Next one out is going to be Tyler Reddick. Like you said, I would love to see Reddick do well. I'd love to see him get a win because that's, I think, what he's going to need. I just don't know. He hasn't got a win this season. I don't know if it's gonna come all of a sudden in the next 2 races. He's barely in because has 0 points. One race could knock him out. I'm just not confident that he can finally pull off a win. And then last but not least, and this is where we differ, William Byron.
Ooh.
I'm saying Willie B because he has been really consistent this year, which could, strengthen your argument for why he might get in because he could get some stage points, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he's currently second to last in points, which is not a good place to be. And Bowman has 3 wins this season. And you're right, we haven't really seen it from him much lately, but he does have 3 wins.
And one of them was at Richmond.
That's what I was just going to say.
Oh, sorry.
We're literally headed to the track that he has one of those 3 wins at. Even if he doesn't get a win, let's say he gets a top 5.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of points that we're looking at. And then after that, we're heading to a track where 2 guys won last year that were kind of on my list of possibilities, Kevin Harvick and Brad Keselowski. I think those 2 dudes are heavy contenders at Bristol. And because I was looking at both of them and I was like, where are they going to end up? But they're heavy contenders at Bristol. We're going to Bristol right after Richmond.
They both have
Richmond. Yeah. Right. Richmond was my Bowman example. So I'm moving on. But what I was left with was William Byron. Honestly, I'm just not sure, given the next 2 races, William Byron is in a situation to like win either of those. Whereas I see Alex Bowman, Kevin Harvick, and Brad K as much more likely to win.
Yeah. And hell, like Nathan's talking about right there is I don't know what the qualifying order is for Richmond yet, but some of these cats with all that bad luck from Darlington are starting in the rear for Richmond. So that first stage points, like there's gonna be guys already up there in position to get stage points, and them guys trying to fight to get up. I mean, whoever has the setup right, they're gonna have to capitalize on a good first stage to get up there and try to get some points. I think the name of the game in the first round always is just don't fuck up. Race
it really is.
Just
it really
survive
is.
And, get a good day and get out, and you will transfer the second round. If you fuck up, you wreck, you screw up, you're done. It's over.
That's the thing. We're making these predictions, but I mean, who knows? Maybe Kyle Busch literally DNFs the next two races.
That's another thing. It's like,
it's a possibility.
That's what we always talk about too. Even with like the final race, it's like, what if Kyle sells it in lap 13 and blows right front, creams it, and now he goes into Bristol like minus 48 or something?
Right. It's a possibility. It really is. I mean, we're making predictions here of what we've seen based on our experience of watching the races and like what we can expect from these guys. But yeah, like you said, with NASCAR, it's so hard to predict because Kyle Busch could literally wreck out both the next two races. It's a very possible. One of those races is fucking Bristol night race. I mean, who knows what's going to happen there?
Yeah. I love the playoffs. I've been a fan of it since I was a kid. And, to the old Winston haters, I hate it. I'm sorry. This is awesome. This is prime time Game 7 moment. Like,
I'm enjoying it.
Nut up or shut up. You got to perform 10 weeks in a row and bring it.
Yeah, I agree. I know a lot of people that hate the playoffs. I feel like some of our direct fans and audience doesn't like the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that's cool. I totally understand what y'all are saying, and I see your point of view. But I'm kind of leaning more with Dakota on this one because this playoff situation right now excites me. And I find it interesting, and I like following it. So, yeah, I think I'm pro playoff.
Oh, definitely. It's the best thing that's ever happened.
There you go. Nathan gave us another one. He wrecked lap 1 at Bristol in 2018. Perfect example.
Yeah.
Bristol is a track.
Came back and wrecked Martin Truex.
Yep, I was going to say Bristol is a track, though, that you can get wrecked and finish the race top 5 because it's Bristol. So, it'll be
man.
It'll
be
exciting.
Darlington, we did it. We got some more races coming up, man. I'm stoked. The playoffs are here.
Playoffs are officially here. We got to watch the first one in person on pit road. I think that's everything. I hope we didn't miss something. I know we missed something to talk about being at the race. And so if we did, we'll mention it later.
Don't get in concession lines. You'll miss the race.
It was just so much shit to keep up with and to remember. Everything's just going on. So it was a great time. I'm glad you enjoyed it. We'll definitely have another episode this week. I say definitely. Half the time shit comes up in our lives.
We should be able to. I think
we should be able to. I would say we'll be shooting for Thursday or Friday, somewhere in there. And then in that episode, we'll talk about like actual Richmond predictions, more playoff prediction stuff.
Maybe have a guest or two.
That's true. We do need to get another guest on, and we talked to a lot of people at the race in Darlington.
A lot of plugs on there.
Good people to get guests on. Last but not least, we are brought to you by Yeats. 10% off discount code Chairgatin at yeatsofficial.com. And we're also brought to you by Yeti. Use the link in the description below to keep your shit cold for the Yeti
boys.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, Dakota.
All right. Peace, y'all.
Peace.